on Twitch and on YouTube. Again, it's the 6th Saturday of March, and like I said, it's pretty much follow me on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. The mission and the vision right there, and then just subscribe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're located. So let's get started. Let's begin with let's see what we're going to begin with. I'm not even sure on what we're going to begin with, to be honest with you. But we're gonna begin with something. That's for sure. What we're going to begin with. Let's see. Huh? Maybe it's over here somewhere. No, it's not there anywhere. Anyways, let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. We're somewhere in here, somewhere. Text. I don't know. I don't even know where we're at. Let's see. Nope, it's not that either. Let's add another one. Audio, browser. Colors us. We could probably do browser. Let's see, browser. You just added a browser. Let's see if I can add the URL real quick. I'm actually, doing this real quick. But let's see if we can do it quick enough. That's the main thing. Can we do it quick enough? Anyways, guys, follow me on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Instagram is the Studio 11. Twitter is Barcelona 2051. Now it's Studio 2020. Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff, guys. Pretty simple stuff. So let's get with it. Or get lost with it. Let's see where we're at. I think it's right here somewhere. It should be somewhere right here. Let's see where it's at. Actually, it's not even that. Let's see. So yeah, guys, follow, like, and share real quick. We're trying to look something up real quick, but we should get it going in a little bit. It's pretty much said and done already. We just need to get with it, Need to get with it. And it's somewhere in here, somewhere in here. It's waiting for us to click it. Yeah, it's pretty much the name of the game right now. So somewhere in here, you have, some stuff, that is waiting to be said. Again, guys, I don't encourage this kind of, don't try this at home, Yeah, try it in your room if you want to. So guys, again, here, we have oh, it's right here. Ooh, it's right here. Yeah, so ooh, it's right here, right? You like that right there? Yeah. So again, guys, ooh, it's right here. That's what people like, right? Ooh, it's right here. Ooh, it's right here. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's over here too. Oh, damn. So we're gonna begin, guys, and hopefully you guys are ready for this. Again, I don't, I don't expect you to be ready. Again, nobody expects you to be ready. How about that? Anyways, guys, I mean, a lot of that became famous, trending. Most of you know what that means. How about that? If you don't know what that means, research it on Google. Maybe it will come up. Who knows if it's outdated or not? Anyways, let's begin. And today we're starting off with the structure. The Mexican structure of Mexico. And I mean, we already did the one from the United States. Let's do the one from let's do the one from Mexico. We're going to basically we're going to begin with the place. Basically, what's the place? A lot of people ask, what's the place? Hey, what's the place? And the place, it's pretty simple. Mexico. Again, this is a study of the University of Hidalgo in the state of Hidalgo. It's an autonomous university. It's UAEH. And this is 2020. We're in 2021. Again, it's the most updated version. And of course, it's done by none other than the name says it right there. The structure is right there as well. It's focused on politics. And it's from January to June. Again, this is from January to June. So I'm gonna summarize it. Basically, I'm gonna put the slogan there and basically explain it from there. So, political structure. There's always an objective. The objective is always to explain the perspective of the state, of the modern state. From a liberal perspective. Explain what happened during the elections, what changed. So again, you gotta explain it from a perspective, get results, and then tell it to the public. That's the system that was used in 2020 from January to June. To explain politics, how politics influences democracy, and the evolution of the interest and the processes that happen. The evolution of the objectives, the sentiments, and the reflection of the student. So that's structure 2020 from January to June. Perspectives. Again, this isn't, the president speaking. This isn't the Senate speaking. This isn't any part of Congress speaking. This is a person in a university, in a state, explaining what they see. Again, as a teacher, here you can review lots of these and give them different grades. Again, this one is one that stands out. When something like that stands out a lot, it means that it's a really good, well-made presentation. So We're basically giving this analysis to you. So what's basically the resume? What's the this is what happened moment on here? In a panoramic view, lots of moments happen in the state of Mexico. In the state and in the country. Mexico explains the elements that it is founded on, the structure, and what the functions of each state are. So you have panorama, perspective, and structure. And all of these things, the people involved in all of these things collectively and personally, they are the founders of the decisions that are made in government, the evolution that you see in the history, and there are the vision of Mexico's future, not just in today, in the yesterday, but in the now. So productivity is the word, ladies and gentlemen. How productive are you? Did anything that you learned is still available? Moving on, that's just, the what is this about? This is pretty much the game right here. Now, the game is real, guys. But what happens when you start talking about stuff? Like, what is government? Can I touch government? What is democracy? Can I touch democracy? What happens when you move into that state of mind? So basically, we just discussed it from my perspective, but now let's summarize it. In this unit, the panorama of how a state arises in Mexico is presented. Its elements, such as its structure in terms of state functions, which guide the decision making of the rulers and impact on the development and productivity in our history and our present. As you can see, I summarized that, but instead of summarizing it, I gave you an essay so that you can learn what the person was trying to say in Spanish. And as you can see, they were trying to say a lot. Again, you could say in this unit, correct? But when you say it in Spanish, you say arises instead of se plantea. When you say se plantea, you're kind of saying this is the game plan, and that changes a little bit. So when you try to translate something and from one language to a different language, it does change a little bit. But as a professional, you will always get what the person is trying to say, or I hope you get what the person is trying to say. So here, guys, it's a little bit of a give and take. So as you can see, we had a little bit of a introduction. So now let's see where this takes us to. It takes us to the structure, which is basically what we're talking about. What is democracy? A lot of people don't understand what democracy is. A lot of people don't understand how a country is made. So there's a in your face and a not in your face type of democracy. La democracia proviene del griego kratos, que significa poner demos, que es el pueblo. Representa el poder del pueblo sobre el pueblo. Eso es lo que representa. La indirecta básicamente es, no cabe la posibilidad de un gobierno directo de los ciudadanos, se ejerce de manera indirecta o representativa. So it represents the town, the city. The city is the city, the town is the town, the state is the state, the country is the country. La directa surge en Grecia. El pueblo participaba de manera directa, pero notoria, es decir, un autogobierno. Notatoria es decir, un autogobierno. So again, as you can see, it evolves. We know what democracy is. We know what it represents. But now we're talking about the roots of how this country, the country of Mexico, how it was made. How this country came to be. So again, it represents the town, and the town tells the town what to do. The city tells the city what to do. The state tells the state what to do. The country tells the country what to do. The country does not tell the state what to do. The state does not tell the country what to do. The country does not tell the city what to do. And vice versa. So it represents. That's the representation. And I don't want to go all the way from the state to the country to tell the country what to say or what to do. Is the indirect. Basically saying there's never the possibility of a direct government, of the citizen, of the representation. So basically that's democracy, guys. Democracy. Democracy, democracy, democracy. Democracy. So basically, in democracy, there's always challenges. There's always a difference in opinion. And as you can see, right from the get-go, you start to see, this is what we represent. And the liberals right away tell you, we come from Greece, a town who participates in writings, more to say a place of autonomy. That's why in a lot of the universities you see the word autonomous. We don't need government, we are the government. That's basically what it means.
Again, that's pretty much the democracy. The definitions of democracy: you have the representation, the town, the city, the state, the country. Country means country, and so forth. The indirect. I don't believe that you come from Greece. Never in the never of nevers. That's the indirect. The direct is I am the government. Because of Greece, because I know how to write, because I read this book, and because the book said, and because the book is. Therefore, if you have any indirects, read the book, and then we can sit down to have a discussion. That's basically the interpretation that this means. So moving on, guys, moving on. So that's just the beginning, guys. That's just the beginning. What are we trying to say here? What kind of branches are we trying to explore? Well, we're exploring the structure of Mexican politics. We're not trying to teach you, oh, if you go to a school in Mexico, you will have teachers, you will have a principal, and then you will graduate. And then you do this. We're not teaching any of that. We're focusing just on politics in Mexico, the structure. So, what does this mean? We already talked about the democracy. Now, let's talk about the state. You know, we just said the city is the city, the town is the town, the country is the country, the state is the state. Nobody tells the state what to do. Nobody tells the country what to do. The country does not tell the state what to do. The state does not tell the country what to do. And so forth. So what does this mean? A national, modern state. Where does this come from? What is the history of this? It starts in Europe. Towards the end of the 1500s. That's where it starts. A lot of people are asking, well, that's too far back. You know, we can't go all the way back to the 1500s. And of course, we're not going to go back to the 1500s, but that's the history of the modern state in a nation. A lot of people ask, well, what is a state? Is a state the same thing in each country? And the answer would be yes, and the answer would be no. It depends on the test that you're taking. It depends on a lot of things. Sometimes the answer could be half yes, half no. And you can even a quarter yes, a quarter no. 2 quarters maybe. You know, that kind of thing. So again, so here we have, you know, give me a quick second here. We need to do something here real quick. So as you can see, this Mexico comes from Europe, from the 1500s, the end of the 1500s. And basically, it comes from the end of the 1500s, where institutions are falling apart. So basically, institutions from Europe are falling apart. They come to Mexico, which it was in Mexico to begin with. It was called something else. Mexico is born. Just like a company is born, politics are born. Mexico was born as well. So as you can see, the summary so far is, if we round it off, it's Europe, 1600s, the fall of medieval institutions, and we're trying to read every single word. It's a little bit complicated, but we're trying to read every single word. So a doctrine is formed you have geography, centralization, and illustration. Division of powers, and the power is of the people, in this case the town. So it's not we the people, it's we the town. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a history of a nation's modern state in Mexico. You go into any Mexican state, and this is what they know. This is what you know. Generalizations. How do we summarize this? State, territory, authority, and power. So which one would be the bottom one? It would be authority and power. Then you would move on to a territory. Then you would move on to a human society. And then you would move on to a state. A state first you have a state, then you have a word that is derived from the state, and then you have three branches that connect to it: society, human society, territories, and authority and power. So those are generalizations, guys. So as the history goes on, all of these are connected. What are your rights in the state? You have a lot of rights. Basically, it's called the formed state, the forms of state, the functions of the state, the administrations, the jurors, and the legislations. Owner or owners, basically independent or a party. What kind of party are you? Are you a big party or are you just an independent? Formation of the Federal Republic. Okay, we're a country. We have states. We have to tell now the states what to do. So we went from the history. The city does not tell the town what to do. The town does not tell the country what to do. The country does not tell the states what to do. We went from that to actually having some states, having some say. So this is human society, territories, authority and power. We went to that. And then we advanced and said, wait a minute. Yeah, there's states and there's countries, but here is what you stand for. And here is what you can do with it. You just have to go to the right place at the right time, meet the right person, and have an agreement. So, what does this mean? Does this mean, oh, well, it's pretty easy? Again, it means not that it's easy, it means that it is what is said, it is what it says in the book, it is what it says in the website. That's basically what it stands for. A federal republic. The biggest city in Mexico's case in the country. The Constitution is from 1424. No, 1824, I believe. When Mexico was named United Mexican States. It's based off of the Constitution of 1917 in Articles 39, 40, and so many more articles, about quite a bit of articles on there that still exist. Some of them might have been taken off, but most of them still exist if you know how to exercise them. And of course, there's the jurisdiction structure, which basically talks about the Constitution, the slogan, and the articles of the Constitution. In this place, the formation of a republic, you have Mexico, the United Mexican States. You have guarantee of autonomous federal you have a guarantee of a federal province through a federal government. What is the structure of the political states? What is the structure of the powerful politicians? Again, it goes back to 1814, where there's a big reunion or a big union of people and they agree on certain terms and conditions. They agree that a state is going to be named, that a city is going to be named, and that the entire country is going to be named. They agree on that. So it's kind of like making a team. You're going to represent this team, you're going to represent this team, but the entire team name is this. So again, pretty simple stuff, right? But at the same time, easy to explain, not so easy to do. As you can see, you know, that's the results of something like that. So we've talked about the democracy. We talked about the history. We talked about its general form. We talked about the rights that you have in that state of generals. We talked about once you have a state and some generals. We talked about what it means to be a republic and function as a federal state to all of the other states. We talked about all of that. So now, what does this mean? Hey, I got this, I got that, I got this, and this, and this, and this, and this. What does this mean? Pretty simple stuff, right? It means that you can finally make a team and have one person represent you for your team and make you the president of the country. What does this mean? What kind of teams, in this case, parties, political parties, what kind of structure do they have? You have what is called a party. So we're going to explain this one in Spanish as well. Hay un partido, una organización estable, unida por principios ideológicos específicos. Ese es el partido. Y a raíz de eso, hay sistemas de partido. Ya cuando concuerdas con la ideología, te presentan a los sistemas. Ese es de un lado. Del otro lado, hay clasificaciones. ¿So eres de este lado o del otro lado? Todos los partidos operan de la misma manera. Pero hay partidos más ricos que otros. En la clasificación, de clase I, pluriclases, de cuadros y partidos de meses, estructura indirecta y directa, que ya hablamos de eso. Pero ahí están las indirectas y las directas. Aquí están juntas. En la democracia están separadas. ¿Qué viene siendo la directa? La directa surge de Grecia y hacemos un autogobierno. La indirecta es un gobierno directo. No cabe la posibilidad de un gobierno directo. Nosotros sabemos que es directo, pero representaremos de una manera indirecta. ¿Eso qué viene siendo? Democracia, opiniones. La opinión directa es somos autogobierno. La indirecta es sabemos lo que representas y no eres un autogobierno. Dos partidos, no más, directa e indirecta. No hay tantos partidos. Entonces, si tú empiezas a discutir que si hay muchos partidos, sí hay muchos partidos, pero todos los partidos tienen la misma forma, la misma estructura. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about here? We just talked about the history of Mexico. We talked about the generals of Mexico. Not the generals of generals, but what are the generals of generals? When I say generals, what do people believe in? States, it's a general world. Cities, it's a general term. Town, it's a general word. Stuff like that. We talked about the rights that people have as residents and citizens of that country. And we also talked about the structure of the judicial system there. So you have judicial, you have the rights, you have the terms, and you have its history. That's all part of the structure of Mexico. We said what democracy was. Democracy is judicial. Democracy is history. Democracy is terms. And how is democracy made? With parties, political parties. So here we are again, talking about the political parties. We already said they have one structure. Again, if you really go in depth, they probably have different structures, different, things that they agree on, stuff that they don't agree on. Again, we're pretty much talking about the party. Has an organization, has ideals, principal ideals, specific ideals. And basically, there's two sides of it. There's the systemic side, and then there is the classification side. The systemic side is a little bit more complex, yet a little bit more basic. You could say complex, basic, basic, complex. Here's what is said, or what is written in papers, in websites, in apps like these. In the classification, you have the class of lots of classes. So the class with many classes. With squares and parties of months. With a indirect structure and a direct structure. That's the organization that they have. Those are their ideals. So again, you have classes. You have months and indirects. A system continues with the party. You have bipartisan beliefs, multi-partisan beliefs, dominant parties, utopian parties, bijamics, a new word, parties. Those are systems of parties. Again, guys, what are we trying to say here? There's 3 popular parties, political parties. There's what we call PRI, PAN, and PRD. From my point of view, from my perspective, the PRI is the founding fathers. The PAN is the authority. And the PRD are the citizens. You have a new party called Morena, for those of you who don't know. And there's many other parties that we forgot to mention. Again, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. Alright, guys, we're back. Took a quick break.
Here we are. Still talking about politics. And as you can see, it's a really, really interesting really interesting way to describe this. So moving on. We have a nation state. And again, we will read it. Estado Nación. And this is 2020, from January to June. So it's about 6 to 9 months outdated. But this is what happens in times like these. La unidad política que hoy se conoce como Estado-Nación moderno tuvo su origen en la Europa a finales del siglo XVI, como del siglo XV, perdón. Como resultado de la decadencia de las instituciones medievales en que se había sostenido el orden feudal, la nobleza y el clero. So again, nation state, state nation, you have a unification of politics that is now conceived as state national modern national state, which originated in the last century or at the end of the 15th century
in Europe. A result of decadence from institutions, from medieval institutions that sustained a feudal order, a noble order, a clergy type of order. Moving on. So that's how that happened. We just talked about this, but now we're going into it in depth. Origen del Estado-Nación moderno. El nacimiento de los estados nacionales condujo más tarde al aumento progresivo de la autoridad de los reyes en el terreno político, mientras que en lo económico se desarrollaba la doctrina del mercantilismo. So again, mercantilismo viene siendo como mercadero, de mi perspectiva. So again, the birth of the modern national states was conducted to a later progressive authority from kings of the political territory, while economics was barely getting started with doctrines in business. What is business? Business is el mercantilismo. That is business. Sistema económico en el cual los metales preciosos constituyen la riqueza esencial de los estados. El mercantilismo se desarrolló en los siglos XVI y XVII como consecuencia de los descubrimientos de minas de oro y plata en América. El mercantilismo consideraba que el comercio de exportación debía superar a la importación para evitar la salida del país de metales preciosos. Los reyes de Europa emprendieron la búsqueda de nuevos recursos productivos humanos, la centralización dentro del movimiento ideológico. Ilustración. So what is it that we have to talk about here? Mercantilismo, business, precious metals. In the century of the 16th and the 17th century, basically the discoverment of gold and silver in America. You have geography to explore here. You have monarchies with absolute power to explore here. And again, you have illustrations that you need to see as well. There's division of powers. In the 17th century, there's structures of power in the society. There's fundaments in this modern state. There's Machiavelli is mentioned here. Was the first one to use the word state in the sense of modern politics. It means organized supremacy of a town in a territory. This is in the 1500s. Machiavelli again mentions three elements that a state needs to have: a pueblo, which is a town; a territorio, which is a territory; el poder y la autoridad, power and authority, which needs hierarchy in order to do that. Again, you have thinkers: Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. They all bring something different to politics. Great thinkers, by the way. You have human society. The society of human. The nation of the town. You have a community and a territory. You have culture in the community. Solidified spirit in the community. In the territory, you have a space, a power, which in turn have an atmosphere, frontiers and a limited line that defines which ones are the states. So a lot of structure from Pueblo, from other friends as well, the French Revolution en México. Soberanía se remonta al absolutismo a partir de la Revolución Francesa. Se sustituye la soberanía del rey por la del pueblo. Again, guys, you have the power, you have the independent, you have the authority and the power, the exterior, and the interior, which is the indirect and the direct. So yeah, we went all over this already, and it's again, it's pretty obvious what Mexico is about. And we did not need to put in different places to show you what it was about. So we're going to continue real quick, and we're going to put a little bit more of this so that you get the point. Well, here you have Mexico. As you can see, it has a lot of states. You have Baja California, Baja California Sur, Sonora, Chihuahua, Colima, Nuevo León, Sinaloa, Zacatecas, Durango, you have Jalisco, Michoacán, Guerrero, Oaxaca, Veracruz, Tabasco, Yucatán, Querétaro. There's a lot of states there. Michoacán, Puebla, Hidalgo. A lot of states. As you can see, there's a lot of states there. And just because there's a lot of states, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Ugh. In Mexico, and I can pretty much say this is in the entire country, you have 3 levels. Well, actually 5 levels of hierarchy that takes place. But let's start with the lower level first. Level 5. Level 5 is just the poor. That's level 5, and level 5 is the poor. Basically, a very, very evolved level at the same time, very uninvolved level as well. Then you have the lower middle class, which is the working class. So from the poor class, there's a upper class. If you're the upper class and the poor class, you become a lower middle class, working class. Then you have a level 3. Level 3 is no power gives all power. Every election to upper class. So the upper class are the government. And then you have the elite class. People who have lots and lots of power and do not need government. They're just rich like that. So as you can see, you have that right there. And then you have, what else can we talk about? Here you have Mexicans crossing the border to the United States. And as you can see, it says, "Welcome, United States of America." But instead, it does not say that. Instead, it says, "Northern Occupied Mexico. U.S. Customs and Border Protection." So as you can see, a lot of the history is still there. A lot of the whys are still there. But what else can we talk about? So guys, this is pretty much it for today. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Again, follow me on TikTok. It's the same name as my YouTube channel. And basically, guys, subscribe to the channel. It's pretty important. What else can I say other than subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like it up with a thumbs up, share the platform with your people, the people that you have on your platforms, comment on the chat, on the video, let me know what you think, and if you have positive feedback, negative feedback, constructive criticism, let me know what you think, and I'll respond to you, reply to you. If you have any suggestions on what to talk about, or if you want me to talk about something else, let me know via message or via comment, whichever way. Again, I encourage you to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, And with that said, Saturday, it's the 6th, it's 2021, and it's until next time.